Last week, the Government of Canada announced new targets for Canadian immigration. People started panicking. Well, of course, because those numbers are concerning. But are they? Let's try to assess them one by one. There are three categories of those numbers, if we can see them clearly here. First, 20% of reduction. Let me start with one absolutely amazing confession. These guys who announce it will not be there. I'm absolutely positive this government will be replaced by someone because they're so unprofessional and so harmful to Canadian immigration that whatever they say now, it's probably unrelated to reality anyway. But let's say those numbers are implemented. Is it critical? Well, again, let's see reality. 500,000 that government announced a few years back was never reached. What it means? 395,000 is reflective of current real numbers anyway. So technically speaking, we don't really care what they say because real numbers were never at the level of their prior promises. So whatever they say now, it's probably reflecting reality. As you see, they say nothing that will jeopardize their processing work, but sounds better for electorate because they're populist. They want to get more votes because they want to stay in power. 40% from people processed inside. And people say, oh, that's a lot of people. No, it was 100% during pandemic. It was slightly less after pandemic when they reopened borders and started processing people again from outside. So is it dramatic? 40% only. Well, let's kind of put it in places of immigration on provincial level in certain industries, one by one. I would say 40% of immigration to be dedicated to internal processing. What it means, by the way, internal processing. Internal processing means processing to PR, people who are already inside Canada, students, workers, and other qualified categories of people. 40%, it's a good number, and I don't think points will go high or less. It probably will stabilize. So it's all about reflecting current situation again, because currently it's about right. It's about 40% processed from inside Canada. And by the way, all the problems related to students or foreign workers kind of unrelated to this particular decrease or increase, depends from which side of the border you look at this. We will talk about it as dust settled and we see more clarity about this particular point of 40% from inside. But again, these people who announced it last week will not be there to implement it. Most likely the new government will put new target numbers and new priorities, and we will dedicate another video to that when time comes. Last point is directly related to our beloved startup visa program. People started panicking. 1,000 visas instead of 3,500 they just announced last year, starting 2026. For 10 years, it was 1,000 visas for annual quota for this startup visa. Nobody complained about it because nobody reached that amount, right? So 3,500 were introduced last year to address the problem, the emergency situation, the backlog which stockpile beyond control. Now, what it tells us? Well, two things. First, probably they decrease the amount of visas in processing so fast they don't need that excessive number in 2026, 2027, which is a great sign. Why? Because they're coming back to normal. And normal processing was stabilized around 1,000 applications, not accepted, but processed into visa. It's all three, as you can see, this is the bottom line of today's message, getting back to reality without sacrificing much. And that's what politicians do all the time. So don't panic, stay informed, click subscribe button if you don't subscribe yet, share this video, leave your comments below, and stay safe.